Howdy, my name is Anna.
And I'm Hannah.
And today we're going to talk about mix and match vocabulary. So the purpose of this strategy is so that it focuses on helping new English language learners to develop their beginning morphology skills in order to assist with building simple sentences later on. This activity allows the ESL to learn and recognize related vocabulary terms in a simple yet productive way.
So the materials required for the strategy, the students will need 2 sets of pre-created flashcards that have a combination of English words and pictures of the words, as you can see here. The first set will have more basic words on it that contain nouns. The second set of flashcards will contain compound words. The teacher will need a clock in order to keep track of time.
So we thought that the beginner and intermediate levels were more appropriate for this activity. This is because the ELL is working on morphology and which will help them make simple sentences. The beginner ELLs have a more challenging time of working at the grade level assignments, especially knowing and understanding vocabulary and being able to form simple sentences. Intermediate ELLs have a deeper understanding of vocabulary, however, they still encompass some challenges when trying to understand new vocabulary or words that they have not heard as frequently. This activity would help transition a high beginner ESL to a low intermediate ESL by expanding their vocabulary that could be used to form simple sentences.
The content our activity focuses on is language arts. The content objectives we created are: students will be able to match mixed vocabulary terms that are nouns, verbs, and/or compound words. The TEKs that go along with this are for first grade, and it's English language arts and reading. The TEKs are 1.6a, and it focuses on vocabulary development, and students understand new vocabulary and use it when reading and writing. Students are expected to A. Identify words that name actions or verbs, and words that name persons, places, or things, which are nouns, and B. Determine the meaning of compound words using knowledge of the meaning of their individual component words, such as lunchtime. Language objectives for this activity are: students will collaborate with their group members to decide which flashcards should be matched together, students will discuss their opinions of which cards belong together, and students will match vocabulary terms by applying sight vocabulary skills and visual aids. The ELPs that follow with this activity are speaking and reading. The speaking ones include practice using English sound system and new vocabulary, sharing cooperative groups, and express opinions, ideas, and feelings. The reading ELPs include develop sight vocabulary and language structures, and use visual and contextual supports to read text.
So next we are going to demonstrate how we would do the steps. So basically what's going to happen is the teacher is going to separate the students into pairs. So they're going to be separated into heterogeneous groups, so that there's a beginner and an intermediate ELL together. The students working in groups will help the students feel more comfortable creating a low-stress environment. In addition, the students will have the opportunity to collaborate, thus building their understanding of the terms. So we will begin by having round 1. With each round, it will increase in difficulty. So for step 1, the teacher will distribute 10 pairs of flashcards face down to each pair of students. Then for step 2, the teacher will explain to the students that they will have 5 minutes to match the given cards into 2 groups, the vocabulary terms or nouns, and their matching picture. The teacher then explains that they are supposed to collaborate and work together in order to identify the matches. They are allowed to use their native language. Step 3, the students match these nouns with the pictures. Step 4, the teacher will determine the level of understanding of his or her students. If the teacher thinks the students need to practice this round more before moving on, and practice before moving on to the second round, the teacher can swap the cards of each group and repeat steps 1 through 3 until the students have mastered this level. Then for round 2, for step 5, you repeat steps 1 through 3, except use a second set of vocabulary words that are compound words. So we shall demonstrate it here. So basically what's going to happen is you're going to have your 2 sets of cards, and you're going to pass out the first group to the students. So then they're going to be face down on the students' tables, and then you begin the timer and they flip them over. So it should be set to 5 minutes. So they'll flip it over and see a picture and then see a word, and they're going to have to realize, oh, it's dog, so you're going to match the picture of the dog. All of these words are plain nouns. They're basic. So then you'd have I, and it continues on until they have each finished completing the 10. So
for round 2, this is when the students are given compound words, and again the teacher will pass out the 10 pairs of vocabulary terms to the pairs of students, and the students will place them face down as these cards are. They'd flip them all over, sort them out, and then they would read the words and see lighthouse, and we broke it down so that light and house they can see are 2 different words, and they would look for, here's a light and a light bulb, and there's a house, so those must go together. And the students will do that until they complete the activity for their compound words, such as like matching hot dog, fire and a dog to hot dog, and rainbow with rain and a bow. So we decided the mix and match vocabulary strategy is appropriate for English learners as they become more proficient because it strengthens their skills in morphology and prepares them to begin creating simple sentences. In addition, the activity increases in difficulty each round. The first round allows the students to become more comfortable working in their groups and provides them with the opportunity to understand the nouns. The students have to master the first round before proceeding to the more challenging round where the students have to match compound words. This all relates to the second language acquisition theory, which discusses how and by what processes individuals learn a second language, because this is an activity which promotes learning a second language. Learners of a second language almost always start off with the basics, i.e. learning vocabulary, and then they progress to more complex topics. The mix and match vocabulary activity could be considered a fundamental activity for ELLs. In relation to practice during our field experience, this strategy is a hands-on experience, which seems to be of the greatest benefit to our ELL students we have interacted with whenever they have been able to use manipulatives to learn.
So this concludes our activity. So once again, I was Anna.
And I'm Hannah.
Thanks.
And Gig'em.